Imagine waking up next to the love of your life, only to find out she's been laughing behind your back for an entire year. That was me. I thought I'd found my soulmate. Instead, she was using me as her golden ticket to America and bragging about it to her friends while cheating with 8 other men. But don't worry, I made sure she'll never set foot in the US again. If you've ever been betrayed and dreamed of delivering the ultimate payback, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because this is one of the most cold, satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. I was 30 years old, living my dream job as a ranger in a national park. Fresh air, mountains, rivers. Life was simple, peaceful. That's when she walked into my life. She was 22, Romanian, working as a seasonal housekeeper on a work visa. Let's call her Elena. She had this laugh, bright and disarming, and the accent that made every word sound like a secret. We clicked instantly. Within weeks, we were inseparable. Campfire nights turned into long hikes. I fell hard. And when her contract ended, we made the long-distance thing work. I flew to Romania on my off-seasons. Sometimes she'd meet me in some sunny European city. It felt like the plot of a romantic movie. 2 years of this, and I was convinced I'd met my forever. Elena's family loved me. Her mom would kiss me on both cheeks and say, "Now I know my daughter will have a good life." Romania's economy was rough. Jobs were scarce, corruption everywhere. When the conversation turned to marriage and moving her to the States, I didn't hesitate. I wanted to give her that future. I filed the paperwork. I proposed. She cried and said yes. My friends envied me, and I genuinely thought my life was complete. Then, one quiet evening, about a month after Elena settled in the States, my phone buzzed. It was a Facebook message from her best friend back in Romania. "You're a good man. You don't deserve this."
Attached was a bomb, a year's worth of screenshots. There was Elena, laughing in group chats about how she'd tricked the sweet American into paying for her residency. Worse, pictures and texts with 8 different men. 8! My stomach turned. My hands shook so badly, I almost dropped the phone. I remember pacing my tiny kitchen, muttering, no, this can't be real." My chest felt heavy, that suffocating electric anchor that makes your ears ring. She had been using me and bragging about it. I confronted her that night. I held up the screenshots. "Elena, what is this?" Her face went pale, then twisted into a smirk. "You're overreacting. They're just friends." Gaslighting. Lies. Not a single tear. I realized in that moment, the woman I loved didn't exist. She'd never loved me. She loved the passport, the lifestyle, the free ride. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Something colder took over. I remembered a conversation I'd had months earlier with her brother over a bottle of cheap whiskey. He'd bragged, like it was some heroic tale about serving time for smuggling weapons to Turkish terrorists. He even laughed about Elena acting as his lookout. At the time, I shrugged it off as idiotic bravado. But now, that was the key to my revenge. For 2 weeks, I became a ghost in my own house. I barely spoke to Elena. Instead, I gathered everything. Screenshots of her admissions and affairs. My notes from that drunken conversation with her brother. Proof of her newly obtained residency. Then, I made 2 very important calls. ICE and Homeland Security. I calmly reported what I knew. Her history, her brother's terrorist ties, her participation. Post 9/11 America didn't take those allegations lightly. 2 weeks later, at 6 a.m., I woke to the sound of pounding at the door. Federal agents. Elena was in her pajamas, confused and groggy. When they said, "You're coming with us," I swear, for a split second, she looked at me and knew.
She was arrested, processed, and within days, deported. I got the call confirming she was placed on a permanent no-entry watch list. The American dream she'd schemed for, gone. I'll never forget the last voicemail she left. Screaming, crying, calling me every name in the book, alternating between rage and desperate begging. And me? I poured a whiskey, sat on my porch, and listened to the crickets. For the first time in weeks, I smiled. Here's what I learned. Betrayal is like fire. It burns, but it also forges you into something stronger. She tried to make me a fool, but in the end, she only destroyed her own life. Karma may take its time, but when it arrives, it hits hard. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma comes with a smile.